On Sunday, the Chiefs saw the end to their playoff chances and the end to Patrick Mahomes' season in the closing minutes of the game against the Chargers. Mahomes went down with a torn ACL in his left knee. The Chiefs would go on to lose the game 16-13. So with the loss to the Chargers, the Chiefs will miss the playoffs for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, ending 10 consecutive 10-win seasons and 9 consecutive AFC West titles. How confident are we, though, that the Chiefs will be back atop their division as contenders next season? What do you think, Doggy?
I think the Chiefs will be bouncing back and they'll be a good team next year. I don't think Reed's going anywhere off this loss. I think Mahomes will be ready week 1. You know, they have played
Week
20.
one?
Well, that's what everybody seems to think. He'll be ready in 9 months. Remember, they have played 20 games since Mahomes has been there in the postseason. That's almost an extra year. Season is over. He can take it easy now. Maybe go play hard against Denver on Christmas night. The last game of the year against the Raiders, who cares? They take a deep breath, regroup some. You know, the Patriots didn't make the playoffs their second year with Brady after they beat the Rams. The next year they were 9-7, didn't make it, sort of regrouped, and then they won 2 in a row. And I think the same thing with the Chiefs. You know he's going to come back, raring to go. He's going to attack rehab. He's too good. He's too good an athlete. He's too competitive. They add some pieces. They need another big wide receiver. Probably could use a running back. Always linemen. I'm not going to dispute that. We'll have to look at what they do in the offseason, but I have confidence in that franchise with him and Reed. With a little blow, no football in January for a change, a little blow, I think the Chiefs will be right in the mix in 2026. Reed.
I agree with Doggy from the standpoint that they'll be in the mix. Peter, Doggy, I agree with you. They'll be in the mix, but we're not going any further than that because it's something that we have to talk about that's incredibly alarming. Number one, Joe Thuney, you had him and you moved him to the Chicago Bears and you traded him for a 4th-round pick. How are you compromising your offensive line when you have a superstar like Patrick Mahomes who shows you what he can do when you protect him? And the 2 Super Bowls that you lost of the 5 that you were in over a 6-year span, that entailed Patrick Mahomes running for his life against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a loss, and of course against the Philadelphia Eagles, a loss. So knowing that, why would you compromise your offensive line? That's number one. Number 2, receivers who are very, very talented, but for some reason, too many drops this year. Rasheed Rice being suspended for 6 games. Xavier Worthy getting hurt first game of the season against Travis Kelce, but ultimately coming back. Even though Kelce had relatively impressive numbers when you consider what other tight ends in the National Football League are doing, the bottom line is, you know what, at least 1 game, 2 games, you saw him bobbling the ball, caused an interception that cost him a game. Number 3, do y'all know that the Kansas City Chiefs ran just 16 offensive plays while holding a lead in the 4th quarter since week 9? No team in the National Football League was worse. It was tied with the New York Jets. This is Kansas City Chiefs we're talking about. Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. A grand total of 16 offensive plays over a 6-week span. You ran with a lead in the 4th quarter, and only the Jets are as bad out of the 32 teams in the National Football League. And so I look at it and I say, well, Andy Reid is there calling plays. You got Patrick Mahomes, yet you're having these kind of problems. You know what, Doggy? I don't know if Andy Reid is coming back. I don't think Travis Kelce is going to come back. I know Patrick Mahomes will be back, but they clearly have to rejigger things to some degree because when you look at them, your cap space, only the Dallas Cowboys are worse with over $36 million over the cap. Chiefs are at 34 plus. It's a problem. You got to fix it.
I have great concerns about them getting back there. You mentioned the offseason and finally having one, and you could take a breath and take a blow and watch it. Mahomes has to now approach this offseason with a tenacity he's never known before. That's a serious ACL, LCL injury where maybe if that hadn't happened, you could say, okay, finally Mahomes gets a reprieve here, and he can just enjoy an actual offseason instead of playing into February. He's got to now attack it like he's never attacked it before, both physically and mentally. You don't just wake up and heal from an ACL. He has to actually do the work to get back there. That wasn't on the table when they were going to be eliminated about 5 minutes left in the game against the Chargers. I also would add this. Broncos aren't going anywhere in that division anytime soon, and they are hamstrung with an albatross like you don't even know salary cap-wise by the Russell Wilson contract, which gets off the books next year. So they're still paying all that money in dead cap money for Russell Wilson. They've been hamstrung, hands behind the back, trying to build a team, and they're still the number 1 seed in the AFC, even with Russ's contract. Last but not least, Stephen A., you're a historian. Doggy, you're a historian. Shay, you've done this before. It is so hard to just get back. And Brady set this expectation that you can have one era of a dynasty, take a nap for a couple of years, be in the mix, and then have another era of a dynasty. It is so unprecedented to do that. Besides Brady and Jordan, I don't know if there are any other athletes and leaders that have done that, where there's this gap in between the two dynastic eras. Troy Aikman is a colleague of ours on Monday night. They won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys. Aikman was the quarterback. He was still in his late 20s, never got back to a conference championship game. Time and time again, we see these great teams that have these great little 4-year, 5-year runs fall off, and they don't get back. To Stephen A.'s point, I don't know if we're getting a Travis Kelce next year. I don't know if we're getting all these new magical wide receivers in a run game and an offensive line and the veterans that you need. It is not that easy. And as good as the NFL is at parity, what the Chiefs have done the last few years is unprecedented. I am not so sure they can just run it back next year.
Well, 2 things. One, they lost a lot of one-score games this year. That has a tendency to market correction the following year where you get lucky and you win some of these games. And 2, that schedule next year is going to be so much easier. They are not playing first-place teams. They're not playing the Lions. Take a look at this next year. At Buffalo, at Denver, they play at the Rams and Seahawks. They'll be tricky. You know, you told me the schedule's going to be easy. That's hard.
That's really hard. I'm like, what
are you doing to me? That's a brutal schedule.
That looks like a gauntlet.
I'll take the hit for that. Broncos, Chargers, Pats, and Niners, Seahawks, Rams.
Sometimes the graphic doesn't match the points.
What are you trying to do to me, Sam and Paris? You're a great little host here for. They got a brutal schedule. But I do think that the rest and they'll figure out the prices and I think the market correction is important. Last year they were 12-0.
12-0, 1-7 this year.
And then next year be in the middle, win a couple of those games. I think that will help.
Okay, we can go back to Joe Burrow, right? When he tore his ACL, he ended up coming. I think he tore it in November, had surgery beginning of December, came back for week 1. But I mean, Stephen A. always says, where are the Bengals the first couple months of the season? Like he had trouble getting caught up because he wasn't.
First couple of weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now Patrick Mahomes, I mean, could he really come back in September? That seems like such
a very aggressive timeline. But
very aggressive timeline.
But even so, to your point, it's not you're getting the Patrick Mahomes 100% right out of the gate. It's going to take him a couple of weeks and a couple of months to be himself.
And Labor Day next year's late, so it's mid-September. Ahead a couple weeks. You laugh at
They don't have to go to Brazil.
It's different.
I'm laughing at you for the mishap with the schedule.
They'll send them anywhere.
Now, Australia, aren't we playing the Rams, playing a game in Australia
Rams
next year
are.
for crying out loud?
But they got an easy schedule.
In the never-ending quest for the NFL to make a buck, they're going to go fly into Melbourne, Australia. Anyway, you may continue.
All right, let's go to our quick take now. Stephen A., this one's for you. Boxing great Terrence Crawford announced his retirement yesterday, leaving the ring with a career record of 42-0. Stephen A., your reaction to the legacy that Crawford left on this sport?